What's up, my brothers in darkness? I am the Dadalorian, and thank you for joining us today. I am joined by two of my good friends here. They have a 750,001 chance of getting me aroused. They got drunk and got involved with the Hut Cartel, and they are the Gardula to my Java. It is my boy Matty Ice and Anthony. How you guys doing?
Good.
So you're saying there's a chance.
No chance. One chance. We're going to go Avengers Endgame. But no, I am
It's
Matty
about those
Ice.
chances.
I am Matty Ice, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk, and I like to think of myself as the yak to your face. And I'm very excited to be here with you and our other dear friend for what's going to be a super, super fun episode.
This is going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. So we're kind of in like a weird in between now, right? So like our most of our episodes have been like episode reviews of like Acolyte, Bad Batch, all that shit, and like but now we're kind of getting into like some fun stuff where we just get to talk just regular Star Wars stuff, man. And today's a good one because we've been talking for like the last week now. Lots of new collectibles, action figures, helmets, all that stuff are going to be shipping, coming out soon, and that kind of got us three thinking, what's our wish list items for all these, right? So the three of us kind of were talking over the week and really kind of brainstormed some of our own wish lists. Like we put together some of our own, just a few of those, and we also put this out to our audience on the Sith Happens Instagram page. So we are going to go through our own as well as our audience's own as far as wish list items, and then still show off some of our cool collectibles at the end with Collector's Corner. But yeah, man, I'm kind of excited because like I think you guys might have told me yours, Matt. I think you did.
You know a lot of mine. I'm going with weird deep cuts because I've said so many of mine on the show. So yeah, but
listen, you think yours are wild, but dude, you should have seen some of the ones that came in from our audience viewers because like some of these are ones I was like, I don't even know that name. I have to look that up. I was just like, so honestly, it's gonna be a good show, guys. But anyways, folks, let's just get right into this. So per our guest, let's let Anthony go first and kind of drop a few, like tell us what your wish list items are, just kind of and give us it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's so many figures that that have been made. It's hard, one would think to think of them, but I think between the three of us, we could probably come up with dozens.
Yeah.
My
got a list
number
of like
one,
80.
my number one that I've wanted since I started collecting Black Series is a figure that I had in the 375 when I was a kid, and it wasn't Power of the Force. It was like what the Phantom Menace style. So there's your first hint. It's Phantom Menace.
Okay.
But no,
Is it the Phantom or the Menace?
no, it's not.
It's
You're gonna either love it or be really disappointed. It is the one and only Nuke Gunray.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
great figure.
Yeah,
That's on my list. That's
that
on my
was
long list.
definitely-
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't
a
know.
good one.
It's not that I love the character or have a special connection to the character, but that figure was one of my first figures when I was a kid, and I loved it. And that Phantom Menace release, that figure was actually really good.
Yeah,
And
I remember
I
it.
had it for a really long time, and then I gifted it to a nephew. But that's fine. That's fine. So that's
Sucker.
one for
Could
sure.
you still beat him up and take it is the question. But no, like that's such a cool figure though. I mean, like we don't have enough separatist command chain that aren't
No.
like Grievous or like fighters. Like fucking man, give me Wat Tambor. I mean, I think,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
what's his, I'm losing his name right now because it's Friday night, but Spider guy,
Sure. Yeah.
you know the guy.
Oh,
No, you know, the
I
general.
know
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about too.
He gets
but I
killed
can't
in
remember.
this third to last episode of Clone Wars.
Yeah,
the fourth and the Bad Batch Clone Wars final season episodes. Shit, what is
Admiral
his name?
Trench.
Admiral Trench. Yeah, I want that guy. That guy's cool.
That would be
I
a
want
good
one with different parts that like each time. Remember that every time you saw him in the show, you thought he died and he came back and some of like his spider legs on his back were like a different, or metal or like an eye. Like I want to figure like that of him that like you can have him regular or you could have him when he's like bionic.
He was like the separatist Shock
yeah.
T, like 8 different death scenes, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I was trying to look it up, but I cannot.
We said it was Admiral Trench, if that's what you're looking up.
Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely that.
That's his name.
Okay, gotcha. I missed that
was like,
whole
what are you
part because
doing
I
to-
was so into looking it up because I wanted to see what it looked like.
I was like
what are you-
jogging it. I was
listening.
jogging it in my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know the name. I
Yeah,
know
no,
the name.
I was like, yeah, what are you doing looking down there on your phone, buddy? You drawing them up for me? What's the yeah, no, hey, we need a fact checker. Everybody needs a fact checker.
I felt left out because I didn't know who you're talking about.
He's cool.
Well,
Yeah, so that is not one on my wish list. Spoiler alert. But next one would be Callus, Agent Callus.
That's
Oh
one of
my
my. It's one
God,
of my
yes.
big ones. It's one of my big ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I want Rebel Callus though.
Absolutely.
I want like him when he's in his
Yes.
Rebel garb at the end, like when he's a
Sure.
good guy. I want that
Mhm.
Callus. Yeah.
Yep,
I wish they would
prefer
do
that
more
one,
with
but I
that
would-
Rebel line, honestly, and make both of those versions, the ISB agent and the Rebel version of him. That would
Yeah,
be so.
I mean,
freaking
I
awesome.
would if it has to be one, I would prefer the Rebel one, but I
Yeah.
would take what I could get. He was I watched Rebels pretty late in the game. I finished it last year,
Same.
and he was definitely top character throughout. I mean, the
Mhm.
main gang
Yeah.
is great and all, but he's a great character, really well written, great arcs, like
Yeah.
fantastic through and through. So he's definitely on the list. And then the next one, I know when we talked, we said we could do like figures, vehicles, etc. So I would go with ideally a 3-pack for this one, and
Okay.
something we've talked about before on the cast a little bit, not figure wise, but just in general, and that is going to be the Knights of Ren.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I was actually
From
thinking
Rise of
before the
Skywalker.
cast. Yeah, I want more Knights. I want the Knights of Ren
Uh-huh.
from that movie, and I want from Rise of Skywalker the final form of like Poe and Finn figures, like
Mhm.
when
Yes,
there was get ups.
yep.
Like I know those
Mhm.
figures obviously didn't sell well, and there's like issues that people have with the film. We don't need to get into
Yeah.
that, but I think that like though I still want as a completist to have all of these figures from those movies.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the movie enough that I would want them, but also just photography, having more options.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know, it's like
exactly.
why wouldn't you want something that was on screen?
Mhm.
Yeah, for the recent Black series with the mural lines, the only one to come out from the sequel trilogy was that Dark Side Ray. That
Yeah.
is the only
That's
one,
it.
and like even as a person who like was not like a big fan of those particular movies, like I definitely want more of those. Like it
Mhm.
kind of surprised me how Hasbro has not done certain ones,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth.
And it kind of
They didn't sell well.
me as
Well, not
odd,
not
though,
even
that
just
they
the
released just one in the mural line. You know,
yeah.
Mhm.
like why
it's-
would you waste your time?
Yeah, and it's weird like that though, because Hasbro released a lot of these action figures and stuff like from the Black series and the mural line from some movies that I like. I love all of them and everything like that, but just like we finally just got our first one from Revenge of the Sith with Darth Sidious, and I mean they got to be doing more, because that is more than likely like the one of the top favorite Star Wars movies of all time. So it's just kind of surprised me how they have not done more from like certain movies. And Force Awakens, I enjoy. I know that's kind of like a touchy topic with some people, but I would love to get some of the stuff from that one.
That's my favorite Star Wars movie. My
know,
list,
we've
I have
talked.
I have like a 200 figure Star Wars list, and they're like, I want Kanji Club, I want Politic, I
Oh,
want all
hell
those
yeah.
guys that in that scene. Like, I want those cats. But yeah, but then even if you get into like the sequel trilogy, right? Like a figure that I think is a huge miss for them to have not made, and it was
Mhm.
pipelined, and then it never got made, probably because of sales and like critical fan reaction. Luke Skywalker hologram Luke on crate, like the projected version of
Yeah.
Luke on crate. Like if I got that figure for photography to do something where I'd like Luke when he was a little bit older and training Jedis, I'd just slap a green lightsaber in his hand and be the happiest boy ever. Like it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with how it fits in canon. It has to do with the story you can tell yourself in your own head. And maybe that's a little what's wrong sometimes when people get mad about buying this stuff or what gets made.
Mhm.
In my mind, it's like when I was a kid, I wanted more options. It had less to do with whether like
Yeah,
I love the
exactly.
character.
And
I
that's
think
why
collectors
Newt
don't.
Gunray is my number one.
You want options. Yeah.
I want Newt. And
That's fair.
to be
I want that gun raid.
I want Gunray. No, but I will take we can make a separate Callus podcast if anyone's interested. But did we discuss for now we're gonna talk 3 first and then see where we're at?
Yeah, so
we
we'll do 3 for each of us, and then we'll get into some of our fans ones. So, but
Okay.
all of those
So, yeah,
were really
those are-
good.
Those are my 3. Yeah.
All really good choices. I really like the Callus one. I didn't even think
Mhm.
of that one, to tell you the truth.
I almost missed it, and then I'm like, this guy's he's up there. I love that
I
guy.
really hope they put more out for the Rebels line. I don't think they will, obviously, because it's been done for a long time, but I hope they do.
Anniversaries happen.
Yeah,
Anniversaries happen.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
just in that line, like, I want to. We have the representation of everybody in the final 2 seasons now that we have the Ezra figure from Ahsoka. But like
Mhm.
one of the top of my wish list, and I could use it for the cast if I may steal the spotlight now.
Yeah.
Is
Pat-
I
Don't
want
worry, you're
Kane,
next.
I want Kanan in his season 3 and 4 look, with
Nice.
a swappable
Mm.
head, like one head with the eyeball mask, and then the other head with him, like, spoiler alert, the episode that he died. So you can just like switch those heads, and I always wanted that, and that's one of the things that was the stretch goal on the TVC Ghost. That figure comes with that, and I was so
yeah.
pissed because, like, once
Yeah.
again, sometimes we get stuff that they're all mad about, sometimes
Yeah.
they get stuff that we're all mad about. That for me is one that I'm like, oh, come on, dude. But
Yeah.
that to me is like,
Yeah.
it may be tough to like a Callus I would love, but I think like that's something that's like it's a wish list. I would love to have that, but like a necessary figure is that Kanan for you to have, like, because then you have everybody in their complete look from the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably never get it, but that's just one man's opinion on that.
Before you
Fair
continue with your other 2, let me pause you right there. You just brought up Kanan and his demise, his death. I just want to say that I remember the exact moment when I witnessed that. I was cooking a HelloFresh in my kitchen here, and I texted you, and you were there to console me, and I needed
That's
it.
what I do. That's what I do.
needed that at that moment.
Yeah.
I was just I
That
was
was
devastated.
a rough one.
I did not. I didn't like that. I did
This
not
is
like
your
that.
Star Wars shoulder right here. Right?
Yes.
Here's your Star Wars shoulder.
Eric, you got that other one.
Yeah, I guess so. That was definitely a rough episode, no lie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
is
for whatever reason, like I had heard someone had or I read, I don't know, that happened, down the line in the seasons, but for whatever reason I did not see it coming at that moment.
Yeah.
Until,
It-
when it unfolded, yes, but like in that, like the moments leading up to it, I didn't see it coming,
No, that's valid.
which
so.
makes it epic.
Yeah. It was so I was not the biggest proponent of Rebels, but like that last season and how it ended, oh my god,
Yeah, Matt
masterpiece.
doesn't like Rebels very much either.
no, it's not my favorite Star Wars show ever at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Rebels won. All right, sorry, Matt, continue. I just had a moment of
Listen,
nostalgia.
yeah, save it for your Callus podcast, which Eric and I will be on. It's called Catching Up with Callus. See it this fall.
Catching Up with
But the
Catching with
Catching Up with
K.
Callus. Wait, I thought there was 3 Ks there for a second. I was like, oh boy, we're not those fans. We're not those fans.
It's a
Might
cock.
need to change that title.
Yeah.
But what are
Catching up with? Dang it.
So
No.
that was my first. I think reiterating that, like, I have mentioned so many of like my top figures. Like my number one's always going to be we need a Han Solo in a New Hope garb, like updated, but that may come. So I'm not going to get into that. So for my number 2, I have like, maybe Eric, we could put it in the people want to see my wish list. We could drop it in the description on the YouTube video so we can see it. I'll send it to you. But because I've got a long one.
Oh God.
But so
you're gonna break YouTube.
I'm not going in order, but just because you said Phantom Menace and one of your favorite first figures, and I'm going to throw some Phantom Menace out there, and it's a figure that like I would snatch immediately up and like jump for joy. Captain Panaka.
Yep, I knew you were going to say
yes.
that.
Okay.
That would be. I love that character. I love that
Panaka.
look. I love that figure. When I was a kid, I remember I went on the Midnight Madness when they did that. That was the first time they ever did the like midnight around May the 4th before the movie came out. Toys R Us is all open at midnight. They had all the figures on the shelves. They had everything like decked out with all the merchandise. Each peg had the same figure on it, straight back, so nobody like fought each other to go through pegs. And the only figure they didn't have was Captain Panaka and the 2 Naboo guards, and they wanted them so bad, and they didn't come out till the later wave, which was like a month after the movie. But I just remember like being like, I want that Panaka figure so badly. And so that would be my number 2. Like I want a full Naboo guard setup, right? Like now, especially now that we got Amidala in that look from the end.
Picture stuff.
Yeah.
Throw in one of those green speeders. Make it a whole thing.
Yeah, make it a deal.
Awesome.
Play set.
Fuck yeah.
Which brings me to my third. which is a playset with figures.
Oh God,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So what I want and what I would love is, I feel like one of the big things I have trouble with, so I take photos. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the cast that I'm Black Series Daily Desk. Follow me and look at my photos. But that's not how I know Ant. I am not a committee at all. But anyway, so who also takes photos for you to look at. But a big problem I have, and like I think Ant, you and I talk about this a lot, is like background villain characters, like cannon fodder that aren't like stormtroopers. So like one of my favorite like little group of characters I had when they did Power of the Force and everything were the skiff guards. So like I would
Okay.
love if they made a vehicles, like I'd pay the $100 whatever this would cost easily, of the skiff that they fought on next to Jabba's sail barge at the beginning of Return of the Jedi. That skiff, and it came with Klaatu Barada and Nikto. So you had like those three classic skiff guard figures like updated. And also like if they want to throw in a weak way, like I kind of weak ways were my shit, and you could use those with your Hondo figures also. So you know, like he's got a pirate gang when you have those too. But like that playset, a 4-pack, right? 4-pack with the skiff, like that'd probably be a $200 set, and it's a price I would gladly pay and display.
They actually, so I have all of those in the vintage collection line. They have all those in that line.
I'll bet you do.
Yeah. And they also sell that skiff in the Micro Galaxy in the line and everything like that. I've seen it before. So
I love how Micro Galaxy is becoming your little favorite thing all of a sudden, by the way,
Eric. It's fun, man. I like the vehicle stuff.
If I had the room, I would definitely have them.
Yeah, definitely, man. So but dude, all yours good ass choices. I like those a lot. So that last one with the vehicle site, that in a 6-inch line would be stupid expensive, but that would be so dope, especially if you found somewhere to do like good pictures over sand and stuff like that. So like that. So my particular list, and I put 3 together just to kind of keep it short and sweet, is it bounces around a lot because you guys particularly focus on the Black Series line, more or less the 6-inch Black Series. I kind of collect I collect vintage collection, Black Series, helmets, lightsabers, pretty much anything that I'm just like, yeah, I could dig it. I kind of go that route with it. So
that's why I love your collection, because that's like you have a little bit of everything going on there. So I'm excited to hear what you have on your list.
And I like TVC. You guys get good stuff. My thing is for photography, like Eric, you and I were talking about this last week. For photography, Black Series is just so much better. They're more posable. The features, like the TVC figures, are great, just not for the purpose that I like use the figures. You know, so I want to make sure that too. Yeah.
For me, the way I display them, they actually are like it's a lot easier to display than like a Black Series line. But
for sure.
But anyway, so the first one that I had picked, and it's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. He just got his own Black Series action figure, but I want the helmet of ARC Trooper 5s. I want that in the Black Series helmet of him. So like the thing comes down, basically like take Captain Rex's helmet, change it up, you know, like the Phase 2 helmet and everything like that, and turn it into 5s. I would that's an immediate purchase for me, like no question asked. Like that is 1000%. I'm taking that. D. Bradley Baker signing that, and that's going in a case somewhere. So that would be such an awesome one. I would absolutely love that.
You got 5s in TVC long before we got him in Black Series. Am I making that up?
Yes. So he in TVC, he was a weird one, man, because he was supposed to be released, I think, just right around the time that like COVID happened, and then like when all that shit was coming over from Asia, it just got fucking stopped because everybody's like, oh, everything from China is gonna kill you. So like I just got lucky one day, and I was like browsing on eBay and shit, and I seen it in TVC, and I bought it, and I messaged the dude, because you guys know I like my stuff in like mint collection. I was like, dude, I'll literally pay you extra, package this thing as well as you can. So I got that one in TVC a long time ago. And when he came out in Black Series, I used to work night shift. So like I went to Walmart at like 10 o'clock at night or something, like right before my shift started, to go pick up like some food and stuff to bring with me. And it was right when they brought the shipper out from the back. Like this thing, it wasn't even unwrapped yet. I just cut the damn plastic myself, took that and Jesse off, and I'm like, I'm taking these with me. So but yeah, so that's definitely one of my top ones right there, is an ARC Trooper 5's helmet. The next one, the next one going off of um the Micro Galaxy Squadron vehicle line, and this is one this in every line that this vehicle has ever been in, it's become one of the most valued collectibles there is, and it is the Arc 170 Starfighter. I
Oh,
would
nice.
love that in a Micro Galaxy line. That one vehicle particular value has always been ridiculous. The Lego of that sells for like, because they're remaking it, I think, into like a new one and selling it again. But like the original Lego of that sells for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. They had it in something else too. Oh, so I had one of these actually. It was they had it in Hot Wheels,
Okay.
and I remember this is actually a little bit of a crazy story. So I went to a comic book store and they were selling like they sold all like these opened of the Hot Wheels starships from Star Wars. And I saw it there. I was like, oh, dope. Let me just add that to my collection because I used to collect the little mini Hot Wheels starships. I kind of got out of that. And I brought it home and I was just like, man, I never seen one of these. So I eBayed it. That thing, so I paid $5 for that, by the way. That thing new in the box sells for $400, like a Hot
Really?
Wheel. Yeah, so it's a Hot Wheels one. And I was like, you know what, man, this is cool, but like if I could turn some money on this and like get a helmet or something. And that's exactly what I did. I sold it for like $130 on eBay. So my profit margin on that one was pretty good.
Wow.
Do you remember the first time you saw the Arc 175 when in Revenge of the Sith in the opening? And I was
Mhm.
like, oh man, the gentleman's X-Wing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like what it's like.
Exactly.
It's 3 wings.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like-
that's
It
what-
was it's a dope one, but I would
It's so
would
cool.
love to get that in the Micro Galaxy line because like, you know, like with you guys, I kind of started getting into the photos and stuff with that recently. I just got the ATTE. I still need to do some photos with that, just haven't had time. But honestly, that Micro Galaxy line, it's like it's affordable. And then also the Star Wars _ toy collector on Instagram did something recently where they actually put out like, you know, like how much if you bought the whole set, this
Oh
is
yeah,
how
I
much
saw
it would have
this.
cost.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like double or tripled in value at this
for
point.
for Micro Galaxy. Yeah, I think that was one that was
Yeah.
like 3,000 retail and like 7,000 or
Yeah,
almost
it's
8,000, I think.
Well, they
I
do a
think
lot of they do a lot of chase items too, right? Where like there are ones you can only get in certain stores, and it's like there are
yeah.
ones that come in like blind bags. Like that definitely, like, I mean, Hot Wheels being worth it. Like there's that collectible element that these things have, like especially
Yeah.
those smaller items. And I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, Galoob, like micro machines, right? Like made
Mhm.
whole series of like
I
mini
remember
figures
those.
and
Yeah.
vehicles. I had a lot of those when I was a
Yes.
kid, and I think that there's not a big that's a corner of the market that hadn't been getting hit for a
Yeah,
very long
and
time.
that was one
Yeah.
So
that
this coming
they
in,
had like little play sets with them too
yeah,
sometimes
Yeah.
too, right?
Oh, I had
Like
them all.
Those I had a
whole
lot
little
of those
like
when I was a kid.
buildings and things.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and that gives an
those were the
opportunity.
shit. Those were
They were
fun.
awesome, and yeah, this gives the opportunity. Like what, like you could have a fleet of ATTs. You could
Yeah.
have, you know, you can have the Ghost. I've seen that in stores. That one is awesome. The micro,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that Ghost, and its scale to the figures, and like that alone makes it so exciting to get that for, especially for collectors. Like if you have little kids that are old enough that the little figures with those aren't like an issue, like that's a way for a little kid to have like whole play sets of imagination.
Yeah.
And then for a collector, it unlocks kind of the awe of the size of the scale. So it's a
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool line for
true.
that reason. Yeah. And that's why it's so in demand.
Yeah, and I think the one from that line that is like the most sought after, I'm still going to Ross like every day trying to find it, is they had the Sabine's TIE Fighter, the one that's all
Oh,
painted up and stuff. And I think it was my boy
That's
on
dope.
Instagram, Turntable to the Dark Side. Dude been looking for it for months and months, and somebody actually sent it to him after they found it. Like it retailed for like 10-12 bucks or something like that, and
yeah.
right now if you find it and resell it, it's going to go for like $240 or something like that. So
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's
weird
weird.
that Black Series did that with the original Rebels line about it was probably 2 summers ago. Every character in that on eBay they were selling for like $70-$80.
Yeah.
damn, yeah,
That's
dude,
when
that
I
was a
first
weird.
started collecting. So
Yeah. Well,
I was a
but
little bit before that, but that was a weird time to be a collector, man, because some shit was nuts. Like I
yeah,
remember
that was like
Antok
right
Merrick.
after COVID.
I remember Antok
Antok,
Merrick going for
yes.
like
Dude.
freaking like $200
I
or
got
something
him
like
for
that.
$7.99.
Same,
There's
dude.
never anything in my stores. So like when there is stuff, it's like all closeout. So I remember I was somewhere near a store and I went and the only figure they had was Merrick and he was on closeout for $7.99. And that's a
Yep.
figure like I always pre-order everything and I missed that pre-order. And it was one of those figures that was like, he'll be cheap someday. And then I saw the price was like going up, but then it plummeted very fast when people started to realize that was not going to be a hard exclusive to get.
Yeah. But anyways, we're going way off with that one. But anyways, so my final
we're
wish
here.
list. Yeah, seriously. my final wish list item is, and I don't think this is going to be a surprise at all. Is going to be like you guys. It's a 3-pack actually. Excuse me. It's a 3-pack, and it is going to be a Black Series of the Sith Triumvirate. If I'm saying that right,
I saw this coming.
Darth Nihilus, Scion, Traya, all 3 of them in like a 3-pack like that. That
New
right there.
Nihilus mold in a Black Series, like because he's
Yes.
too short.
I just ordered the re-release
you
of him
did.
from Entertain the Earth. I never do pre-orders too, and you guys know that about me. And this is one where this was my grail. Like Darth Nihilus is my favorite character in Star Wars. This was my grail action figure. Like there's only like maybe 1 or 2 other ones that were up there with him as far as grails, and to finally have him on pre-order, and I think he's coming out in about May of next year. He should be getting here. I'm freaking stoked. But like you said, I want a new mold because I know that mold is
It's built on the Darth Maul mold from the Phantom Menace from the earlier Black Series waves.
Yep.
So the figure is short. That's the issue.
Yeah.
The cloak on it, everything else on the figure is great. It's that the body underneath everything is short.
I don't like the cloak. I mean, I honestly
I don't dislike it.
The short body is the least of. It's just that mold. It sucks. But for an inbox collector though, it's like it's great. The perfect figure.
That's going to be that's going to be a centerpiece for me because that is my number one right there.
You're going to get like a glass museum case for it. It's just that figure.
Probably not that extreme. Those are going to be for like my autographed ones. So maybe if Disney ever picks me up to go play Darth Nihilus, maybe I'll sign my own action figure and put it in a glass case. Then
just do it now. Just do it now.
And then maybe have organ music play when you walk in.
Yeah. But I think getting a Black Series of Scion would be really great. I would love that.
Yeah, be awesome.
And then also getting one of Traya as well. Like that would be super dope. Just that and especially for people like you guys who do the photos and stuff, the opportunities with that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that idea. No, I don't want to disappoint you about that Nihilus. He is really good. I showed a photo I took recently. I haven't posted it yet. I have not photographed that figure enough, and I told Eric in a message, but 22 summer of 22 when I first started collecting, I paid loose for that figure $65.
Sounds about right. I've been looking for inbox, and that up until they just re-released it, and it was floating, or even like shitty condition boxes on eBay floating around like $80-$90.
Yeah, I don't know what I paid for it, but it was not that much. But that's because I started really collecting in 2020, like when COVID first started. So I feel like people had not started to go nuts because there wasn't new stuff coming in and like buying up a lot of old stuff. So like people also didn't have the time to sit around prior to that to be like, you know what figure I think I'm going to buy just to feel alive? Like I need some serotonin. The world's ending. And I think I kind of capitalized on that with like, I think my Rex at that time was only like $40, it was, and some of those figures, like I know that Rex used to like, nobody wanted that figure prior to like going into COVID. Like there were like, people will talk about finding that at like Ross and places before it really went defunct. You could have bought like 15 of it if you wanted to for like $12 each. Yeah.
Oh, anyways, well, that is my 3, and now's the fun part because we get to get into our audience's stuff, and I'm excited to talk about some of these. Are really, really great. Actually, I sent them to you guys earlier.
Yeah, I saw one of them. It's from a good friend of Aunt and mine, and it's like one of the ones.
The first one I'm gonna read, I think.
Is it David Black Series Natural Light?
Okay, no, different.
Another. Oh yeah, we definitely know one of the other guys. I think.
Yeah,
Ant definitely knows the other guy. But I'm saying one of David's is when I was like, yeah, I want that too. Go for it though.
So first one we got is from Aries Lego Legends and More, and he said, "My yet to be made Black Series wish list is anyone from the High Republic books comics, but I would especially love to see the Phase One Big Three: Avar, Elzar, and Stellan, and a helmet would have to be of Lando's disguise." So, firstly, those three Black
Yeah.
Series dope as shit choices.
Oh, and the helmet though. That helmet is
Yeah, that
so
helmet
cool.
is so
Yeah,
cool.
that's
That
nice
that
one,
would be
Ari.
a
Like
fun
really
one.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would definitely be
First
a
time
fun
I saw
one.
that, I was like, what is, like, it was just a little different for Star Wars because, you know, we got New Hope, we got Empire, and then we all of a sudden we got Return of the Jedi here with like some weird shit going on. It was just like, yeah, this is awesome. So I love that.
We have a running joke in my household when we watch Solo. My wife I'd seen it. We saw it in the movies that Woody Harrelson is wearing Lando's disguise when they're on
Yeah.
Kessel and they came in the Falcon.
Mhm.
So like Jen, I was like to Jen, I'm like, isn't that just like the only disguise he has? And then Jen was like, he's got a costume box. It's in the corner, like it's his disguise. I was like, it's got like a pitchfork from Spirit Halloween sticking out of it, like vampire teeth, like to the costume box. And even on my page last week, I had a little caption on one of my posts where it referenced that he always wears that disguise. If anybody wants to go look, it's a Han Solo and Lando picture. But the other one, Stellan Geos, I'm not a High Republic guy. I've not gotten into it, but that character and all the images, I've always thought he looked badass. His lightsaber with the hilt thing that's like different, like that like clicks down, like that would be an awesome figure.
So
I would go
Ari,
nuts for the Avar Chris.
Ari, who sent that post in, is my brother, and that is his absolute. Yeah, it's my real life brother.
I didn't know that.
And that character is Ari. If you're listening, I hope this doesn't sound bad, but he's obsessed with that character. He got that his lightsaber, pre-ordered it and everything. I helped him through that on Disney Plus when that came out, and then
I remember when that came out. That was
God, he
that
got
was
it. That thing is so cool. It is amazing. But
that's
anyways,
the lightsaber place I affiliate with has that. That's like that is a top
okay,
one on
it's
mine.
so cool.
So.
It's so cool.
I love Ari whenever we're talking to him references High Republic as THR, and he's like, you know, THR, and in my head I'm always like the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, the High Republic. Like, I don't know, I can't get it. But at the same time, like, yeah, definitely. If you want to plug the pages again, especially some of these folks that are photographers, Eric, when we're doing it, Ari's again, but great guy, Ant's brother, good friend of mine as well.
I'm going to be posting up the comments on the video once I edit it and everything.
Nice.
But the next one we got was from Aussie Action Figs, and it is
another good friend of ours.
Yep, and he just said the Wolfman from the Cantina, just because he's a fucking Wolfman.
Amazing. Well, I think we're going to get to that note. We're gonna get a Wolfman species character with Skeleton Crew with the leaked photos. Because remember they had the costumes with the pirate guys. So he's gonna kind of get your Aussie Action Figures. You're gonna kind of get your wish. Maybe not exactly how you wished it, but you know, with these wishes, sometimes the genie kind of.
The reason he wanted it was just because he's a Wolfman. So I mean, it might.
Yeah, now he's getting a pirate Wolfman.
I don't think you get better than that.
No, I don't. I think that.
Do you get better than that? That's peak.
Yeah.
Maybe a mutant Ninja Turtle, but that's really crazy. I don't want to. Yeah,
Ninja Turtle Wolf.
What if they were could he be a teenager? Could he be a teenager? Or they? Could they add another gender?
All right. We got to.
Okay, let's keep going.
All right, we're going too far. All right. Anyway, so from your guys, the one you guys were talking about, Black Series Natural Light. He said if we're talking about yet to be made Black Series, it would probably be Benthic 2 Tubes or Shock T, which both of those are big ones. And I know with this upcoming season of Andor, with going into Saw Gerrera,
that was the one I was calling out.
With Saw Gerrera's faction, I have a feeling we might get that in the Andor line, and I think because it's been a pretty requested one and a pretty popular one, so I think that one is something we could get, and hopefully we get Shock T in that Revenge of the Sith line now that they started that with Darth Sidious, and hopefully they start building more off that.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like getting a 2 Tubes, and remember, it's like I think it's Idrio and Benthic. It's like they're siblings because one of them goes on to lead Jeddah in the aftermath of A New Hope, but like what's left of Saw's Rebels, but. Either one works and they look exactly the same, but those are like I think I mentioned that a couple episodes ago too that I really wanted a 2 Tubes figure. So I think that's an awesome pick. And then Shakti, give me all the Jedi
Great.
Council you can give me. Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, fair enough. So, and this next one was from our good friend at the Star Wars underscore toy collector, and he
Yeah,
had
that's a good one.
said, and I lost it, of course. He said corn horn full stop. Now I had no idea who the hell corn horn was. And
Wait,
maybe it's just
Corin Horn, you mean? Or Corn Horn? I don't know.
corn horn.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
it looks like, at least.
It's just like, it's like
And I had to
corn
look at
horn?
corn
Corn
horn.
Oh,
Oh,
corn horn.
corn.
So
Let's
I
go.
had
Corn.
no idea who this was, so I had to look it up on Wikipedia. It says Cornhorn was a rebel pilot who piloted a T-65B X-wing starfighter, served as Rogue 9 of Rogue Squadron. So this is kind of getting into deep into the
Legends,
lore
yeah.
side, legend side of
That's
things
cool
and
as hell,
everything
though.
like that. But yeah, that'd be a really cool one, like just getting more of the pilots. I love the pilot fits on these and everything, so that would be dope as shit, honestly.
I would love, though, because like when we do the X-Wing pilots and like you talked about Merrick, talk about Wedge, talk about Luke, like can we just get a different X-Wing pilot body mold for the love of God? like not all X-Wing pilots are Luke's height and build. Like that's
Yeah.
like and the only reason I care is because I take photographs. And then I have to
They
stretch
talk about that
images a
in
little.
Legends, Matt. That was
Oh,
one of the requirements for being
yeah,
an
you
X-Wing
have to be
pilot.
5'6" and
Yep.
have that gait to your body. Got it.
Yep, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Anyways, so these next ones are coming from Facebook. Actually, when we shared
Very
it to
specific cockpit. Sorry, go ahead.
you're good. So these next ones are coming from Facebook, and I'm gonna put the whole thing on there, but I'm just gonna read through it quick, and we'll talk it. This one is from Matthew Shibley. And he said in the 6-inch line he wants Lobot, which we know is Pipeline.
Big up. Yeah, can't wait for that. Yeah.
Bespin Security, Queen Amidala in the regal attire, Darth Bane, Prince Zizor, Ewok Glider, Max Rebo, Shakti, Watto, Sebulba, and Jedi Temple Guard.
That guy is listed on my list. Could probably be
Yeah.
By the way,
every one of them.
Bespin Security Guard. If you remember, there was a black one and a white one in the original line. If you made that figure with interchangeable head and hands, like I would absolutely buy 2 of the figure to have 1 of each, and then you would have the 2 separate heads, which would be awesome because you could slap those on random trooper characters for other photos and things like that. Again, this is like why I collect, but
yeah,
Bespin, I love those figures. I never was able to get those when I was a kid. They didn't make them in the Power of the Force line, and I just didn't have access to the original line. But those are pretty big wish list figures for me too.
Yeah, that's
really
cool. I like that.
The one he listed, I was gonna say that's the one I would be most excited about. Is I love all that like Old Republic, like Lords of the Sith shit. So like that one, getting that in like a Black Series line would be so freaking dope, honestly. So.
And honestly, I really like the Queen Amidala.
And the Regal.
Like, dude, why would they not? They can make so much money on that. There's like
I'm
how many
surprised they haven't made it
poster.
yet.
How many?
I'm surprised they didn't make that one before they did the one for Amidala in the first one they did for her in the Phantom Menace line. Honestly,
yeah, I was really scratching my head yesterday. I'm looking at the shelf like who to use, and I really want to use her, but I'm like, God, it's limited. If in my brain, if I want to stick to a general theme of the movie, but I'm like, well, we're gonna get creative. You'll see something sometime.
Also, just to say, Lobot as a character is someone I've always wanted. But if you read the Marvel comic series, the current canon one, the Lando miniseries, and then who Lobot is in the regular series, the Lando series takes place before A New Hope. That miniseries, you will want a Lobot figure so much more. He's such a huge part of Lando's story, and I think that's like something that like that's one of those things with lore and canon and everything that like it's really exciting when you discover that.
Hell yeah. So, and the final submission is from the godfather of the Black Series community itself, our big best friend, Mark Wallace. Yep. And he has a good list too. So he has the Death Star Gunner, Snaggletooth, Yakface, Barada, Nikto, EV-99, Lobot, Bespin Security Guard Pack again, a Geonosian, Weequay, Rancor, the Rancor Keeper, Big Darklighter, and General Nadine. So,
General Nadine would be awesome. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that list is great. There's so many of these. Like, I'll give you my list again, Eric. But like the Death Star Gunner. Also, I remember thinking the Death Star Gunner looked too cool when I bought that figure when I was a kid for the Power of the Force to just be a Death Star Gunner.
Yeah.
Like I had this whole thing when I played with it in my mind that those guys like their second job is gunning the Death Star because they don't do that often, but they're also like an elite hit squad because I loved like the
They
helmet.
kind of look like it.
Yeah, they look. Yeah, they're really cool. It's a really cool looking costume for the character uniform.
That
It
would
really
be
is.
that would be a really financially poor decision to have someone on that job, 24/7.
Yeah, right.
Or what are we paying you here for?
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
and you got the resources of the galaxy.
Well, they did kind of bring that in too with Rogue One because that's what Jin's helmet was in Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, you know what? Was to say it's like, hey man, I just gunned the Death Star. Can you gun this Star Destroyer? I'm Union, bro. I don't touch Star Destroyers. If there's a gun and a Death Star involved, but it's the gun on the Death Star, that's where I come in. Otherwise, talk to my rep. I don't know what to tell you.
Count myself.
But anyways, that's all of our submissions, and honestly, all really, really great submissions. So
The one I didn't say anything when you read it off, and I don't need to go into it, but Watto,
No, please do.
I'm into it.
Ooh,
Watto
yeah,
is
Watto.
such
That's
a good one. Yes, I
Watto
totally
and
forgot about
getting
him.
Watto
I'm
and
a
Sebulba
Tatooine.
and like
Yeah.
those like the big Tatooine, a big Tatooine crew like that would actually be super sick, honestly. But anyways, guys, so we talked about all the stuff that we want to get. Now let's show off what we have because it's collector's time. So Anthony, per usual, since you're our guest here
Right.
once again, even though you're basically on every other week at this point.
Here we go.
When you do a TV show, you're like an end featuring now. It's like Eric and I. It's like, what is it?
Well, I'm happy to be here, and we were talking before about who we're going to use, and I had a couple figures in mind, but the one I'm going to go with is going to be this guy right here. So,
Fox.
I just got it too, man.
So
that thing is sick.
I think this is the only clone commander, unless there's one that I know of or that I don't know of, which I don't think is likely, that I didn't have at this time. I have Wolf, yes.
Okay.
He's great. He's great. I love that you can take his helmet off. But no, this figure is one that I never really had a whole lot of intrigue for, and then fairly recently I started to look into his like backstory, and I'm like, this character actually played a big part in everything that went down. So
yeah, what a dick too, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, what
So
a dick.
when we were talking about our what ifs, my what if that I was going to share that's really long. One day we got to do another what if because it's about something that went down in that situation.
We've got plenty of time between shows.
The figure though, it's typical. Everything's great about it. I'm really like, what am I going to do first with it? I think I'm going to go with something with this guy and maybe a shock trooper and then Vader in the scene, possibly just for fun. Do something like that. I think there's a comic I saw. I don't think I read that one yet, but what is that?
Darth Vader, the second Marvel series. Yep. I will not spoil it for you, but
I think I have.
Fox and Vader have a moment. Pretty decisive moment.
Well, that's great. So yeah, no, as Eric said, that figure was recently re-released, which I was like really pumped about the re-releases. So I acquired
that was another one of my grail ones, honestly. Like that thing was so impossible to find.
Yeah. No, it's a sick figure, and I'm excited and I get to do another color splash. That'll be fun.
Ooh, the color splash is one of my favorite series you do.
Oh yeah.
My tough thing with those Clone Commander figures are, and like I love them, is they look good, but they're that old mold, like the first clone mold, which is horrible for posing.
Yeah.
You can stand them up.
But great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it, Eric. We get it. Well, up until I still have a Darth Nihilus and you don't technically. So,
what about the Umbra Trooper?
I think they're just that's just the skin in one of the games. But I love the Umbra Operative. I have one of those. It's a great figure.
I don't know if they ever did anything with that in like canon or not. I know like in Battlefront 2, that's just one of the that's one of my favorite armors of all time.
Yeah. No, it's a sick figure. That is one that. So there was a period in time when I was collecting that I didn't realize. I was naive, guys. Okay, I didn't realize that before the figure was actually out, like you could still get it on eBay, but people would charge you and a leg for it. And
Yeah.
Well, that was
so
a hard to find one for a long time, though.
this is the situation though, is that I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know about release dates or when figures came out or anything like that. So when I started collecting, like I started all Mandalorians. I just wanted every single Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, but
Gotcha.
any Mandalorian there was. A couple of them I paid like $70 for before they were even
Oh no.
released over here, and I had no idea. And then I start seeing
You,
them in the store for $24.99, and I'm like, what the fuck was
and
it?
then you realized.
Yeah, yeah. It was a depressing moment, but hey,
Oh,
Gotcha,
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
So anyways, that figure's awesome, and I am thoroughly excited to photograph it.
Definitely, man. That's sick. So, Matt, I know you got something that you were very excited about. So, what do you got for us, man?
Excited. This is my newest figure right now.
Okay.
Is Yord
this is a good one.
Fondor from
Yeah.
Acolyte. I never find figures in stores. There's no stores in New York, and we were away. We were upstate for the last week and a half, my wife and I got to go to a Walmart, which is a treat. And when I went to Walmart, the only new figure that they had was Yord, and I had pre-ordered him, and he kept getting pushed back. So I was just like, I rarely get the thrill of finding a new figure. I mean, the portrait on it's great. It's always nice to have a yellow blade. I think only Bastilla is the only one that has that, which I have. But funny story. But anyway,
I'm a Wookiee.
Yeah, guys, I got figures neither of you have. No, but anyway, pre-order for life. But very like quick funny story right before we did the cast is when I was taking photos of these up in the Catskills in New York. Ant's fighting somebody in the corner. Yeah. You trying? Yeah, Ant, you trying to not disturb us by turning with your mic off was more. But anyway, so I packed the figures in individual, bags like I normally do. But I had to stick Yord in the same bag as Soul because I didn't bring up an extra like figure bag. And I took the blades out of their hilts, and I went to go to bring this photo to like show them on camera for the show. And I realized I don't know whose like hilt is whose, and I was like, right, this is like the first piece of content where like the hilts aren't so ingrained in our heads from a lore standpoint. Like I could tell you what Nihilus's hilt is, like I could tell you like, but I was like clicking on Black Series marketing shots from the release and like putting my eye on it really quick, like, no, this part comes up a little more on yours. I think this is yours. So like I figured it out, but it was funny because you don't think about that with the new stuff, but we still have a lot to like learn to figure out what came with what.
I think I could tell you just because I affiliate with that lightsaber company, and there was quite a few of them came out from them already, but that's just because I saw them a lot more often. Yeah. But anyway, so
I got that figure recently too. It's sweet. There's nothing wrong with the figures. They did a great job on them. I was a little skeptical at first when they came out with the pictures, but they're never as accurate as they.
Good figures.
Anyway, so now mine was, I'm excited for this. So I won a giveaway a while back. Some of you guys might remember, and it was for this bad boy. So so this was a giveaway I won that Outer Rim Replicas did. So it's a full like detailed Phase 2 212 Clone Trooper helmet. Honestly, this thing looks ridiculous. So it's got so much detail on it that it looks like it's been
through the dirt
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's got so much just
rust.
It just adds character to it. Honestly,
absolutely.
This thing looks so freaking cool. Like this isn't even one that I'm like wearing or nothing like that. One, because I got a fat ass head, but two, I am going to be going to Southern Alabama Comic-Con in about 3 weeks or something like that. And D. Bradley Baker's going to be there.
Nice.
So
I was getting worried D. Bradley Baker might be in your basement, honestly.
Yeah.
No, not quite. With all the clones
who do you think's driving him to Comic-Con?
with all the clones I have, you might as well be, honestly. But I do want to just say a big thank you to Outer Rim Replicas for putting on this whole thing. And they partnered up with Storm Props 3D and Hoplite VFX. So thank you so much to all those for doing that giveaway, because believe me, this is an absolute centerpiece in my collection now, and I freaking love this thing. So
Eric,
that's awesome.
I have a question for you that I think
our
audience is clamoring to get an answer to.
What's that?
A promise was made a long time ago that has not been kept.
What's
And
that?
it is that you were going to show us the fucking light whip that you won. And every week when
True.
you tell me you're going to surprise me, you could show me an item that you could show me the missile firing Boba Fett that 3 exists from 1980. And I'd be like, great. When the fuck are we going to get to see the light whip?
True.
So I'm
I'll
just putting it
get
out
it.
there that our friendship hangs in the balance, but no pressure, zero pressure. Yeah.
I mean,
Listen, just because you want me to use it on you doesn't mean I'm going to bring it out.
Only when I'm being bad.
oh,
You got to
gosh.
keep this mind knock in his cage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, eventually I'll bring that out eventually. So I haven't really thought about that just because it's kind of like one of those pieces that's a little bit hard to show on camera too. So
Dude, move the camera all the way back. I want to see the goddamn light whip. Anyway, so
yeah.
you continue. And that's our show.
Yeah, no, so that
Thanks
and
for
that does
joining
conclude.
me.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you finish up with us being idiots. But
We
anyways,
started off
guys,
with us being idiots. Anyways.
it's a whole show of us being idiots, but we're
28
we're
episodes
idiots who love
idiots.
Star Wars.
It's like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's a show about nothing, and nothing is Star Wars.
But thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate you guys stopping in, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Spotify, or listen to us in the car. We appreciate you spending time with us today. We encourage you to please go follow us on Instagram at Sith Happens _Star Wars podcast, where you'll find the link tree with all of our links on there to our Spotify, our YouTube, Amazon Music, our TikTok, you name it, it's on there. So please go follow us on there and check out all the amazing content that we're going to be putting out. And I will note, I actually have a great giveaway, and you guys didn't even know this. Great giveaway coming up next week that I am partnering up with my boy Josh at Gory Comics.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep. So they are going to be doing a giveaway with a couple other creators on Instagram.
Nice.
And like check out at Gory Comics and our page, and you're gonna actually see this great post come up of giving away one of his t-shirts. It's one of the newer ones of Anakin and Vader doing a lightsaber clash on a shirt. Looks so freaking sick, by the way. So check them out. Giveaway is upcoming this week, guys. So
wow.
but yeah, guys, that wraps us up. So Anthony, you got any last words for our folks before we sign off for the day?
No, this was a really fun podcast, and thanks again for having me on. I think we all needed to have this awesome little Star Wars geek chat here tonight. So, no, other than that, I think it's really awesome that we had some cool contributions tonight from people. My brother, Ari's Legos Legends, and more, Black Series Natural Light, Aussie Action Figs, to name a few. So thanks for that. It really just makes it more fun for us, honestly.
Yes.
Not that we don't like to just listen to our own ideas always, but
Yeah.
but anyways, I digress. But no, it's been great tonight. We'll see you next time.
Drop your handle for us, just so all the followers make sure to follow.
Yeah, as always on Instagram, I am not a committee.
Awesome. Matt, my boy, you got anything to say before we sign off for the night?
I think I said it all when I noted you haven't shown me your light whip. But I will say I am a Black Series Daily Desk on Instagram. Check me out, as well as some of the other great handles that we heard tonight. Check me out. And with that, may the force be with you always.
And once again, thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate you spending some time with us. I am Eric the Dadalorian. You can find me at _Dadalorian_ on Instagram. This is the way.